Yeah, so greetings, people. Right now we're sitting here with SLIMMAH Sound on the right-hand side and Mr. Lyrical Benjie after a session on the dub weekender of King Shiloh here in Amsterdam. So right now we came out of a beautiful session with a lot of vibes and a lot of new records, which I'm sure we're going to talk about right now. And I was already telling a Lyrical Benjie over here that I'm very curious and I've got a lot of questions about new releases and all that. Because for us it is really special, truly special to see those two playing together again after so many years. So truly, that is a very special for myself also, and for a lot of people in Holland, I presume. So give thanks, Willings, that we can have this reasoning.
Yeah,
right
sure,
now.
man. Sure.
And give thanks also that you're making music again. But let's cut right to the chase. What was the reason, the motivation for you, Tim, SLIMMAH, and for you, Lyrical, to start up and come together again?
I think it was always the intention, but more like the time. There were certain things you get sidetracked. Certain other things in your life take priority, and they have to fulfill. And then when it is time to get together again, then you find the same chemistry is there. So it was just meant to be.
Right.
So I think for a while, yeah.
So everything in due time, basically.
Yeah, true. It's it makes you realize that it's not our work. It is the work of Jah, and he switches it on, off, and you work this way or that road, and it's all good.
True.
As we see tonight, and it hasn't changed the chemistry.
No, the chemistry hasn't changed.
No.
Yeah. And I see you smiling, Tim.
Yeah, I think that we couldn't agree more. I mean, there's a thing for me with music. It's very vibe driven, and you really need to like catch that spirit, So you can't force this music. So when I didn't feel like making the music, I just didn't make it because it would turn out, false, like a formula. For you, it's the same thing, We've linked up in between every now and then, and we try to do some things here and there, but it's just wasn't there. And then when the vibe was there,
if I may ask, what did you notice then? So you came together, right? Link up, maybe play some music. What happened, which made you realize, okay, this is not the time yet?
Well, I think we went to some concerts in between.
Yeah, we recorded some stuff.
We socially met.
Yeah.
We didn't really sit down and play music, because if that would happen, then instantly, of course, lyrics would come, and that's.
Not true.
Yeah, there's I noticed something with certain people, that when their music gives me instantly inspiration, and that has to do with putting your soul into the music. When the person making the music does it with his heart, then those who follow their heart in order to sing, they sort of connect. You can hear the lyrics in the song.
All right. When you're listening to it.
Yeah, and it just happens or it doesn't happen. But with certain people, it almost always happens. Yeah. So it's very mystical, and I like that. It's one of the things that I think you should just enjoy,
True.
And not try to define every mystery.
No, and try to give words to it.
Yeah, enjoy it. It's Jah. He works that.
So this is a connection that you two share, basically.
Yeah.
Something like this just happens, and you're kind of, my words, surrendering to it, or surrendering in it. So let it come, and it flows, or it doesn't flow.
Yeah, I think the key is that you want to share what you enjoyed. Like we listened tonight to the song we did, Roots and Culture.
True.
With
the beautiful harmonies also.
Yeah.
Big of Sister Omi. Sister Omi.
Sister
Omi.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is like emphasizing, that the roots, the culture from how it was. Brigadier Jerry, Big U, they all mentioned in the song. because that was for me the vibe to get drawn into this.
True.
You know, I listened to so much Brigadier and still do.
True.
That you get like drawn into it in a way that you want to share what you get out of the music. So it's like you receive and you give back. And if that is your intention, then the spirit of Jah will be with you.
True.
If you let the world influence you, you know, if you want to use this talent to get money, to make a career, yeah, then you will get that out of it.
Right.
But that will be your portion then, you know.
Right.
But Jah has much bigger treasures than what the world can give. So, amen.
See. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
see,
well.
yeah, and then my question is always, you know, also to make the reasoning, my words, some ego can come in and therefore take over a little bit because it has certain promises about money and fame and grow bigger in person and statue, you know.
It's true.
So maybe for you, Tim, how do you keep this pure to yourself and not let the world influence you towards steering towards being a big producer and played by every system all over the world and a big man, you know?
Yeah.
How do you keep it real is the question.
I think for me, like, the main thing is that I actually quit making music for a long time. Because I wasn't feeling it, and I think that there were like a few things leading up to my stopping producing music. One of them was actually like I had to go through a little ego death, you know. Yeah, I think it's always good to like realize that it's not about you, you know. Just make these tunes. And for me, like a reason to do it now is that for one, it's like I got the vibe again. I also noticed that the stuff that we did like over 10 years ago is like timeless, you know. People are still discovering it.
A lot of people are still.
Yeah, so that was also like a nice nudge in the direction for me. Like, well, you know, I mean, the stuff you did, it actually holds up. Because I always had that feeling, because of what Benji's saying as well, you know, because it's a special connection, and I think I share it with him, I share it with John Melody, with a few other people. Yeah, somehow there's no bullshit involved, you know. It's very honest. And I think that's like the main thing for me. Usually when I build a rhythm, it's 5 to 10 minutes, and the thing's done, more or less. And so it's super honest. And when I spend too much time with it, I start fiddling, and you know, it feels very constructed and very fake. And that's actually, I mean, I've tried to make some music in between every now and then, but it always came out like, you know. And now, you know, I send you like an album's worth of rhythms, which I've banged out in an hour, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're producing full force, but I think that's the main thing. And for me, it's like tonight's a very good example, you know, when you just see people enjoying your music, dancing and feeling the vibe, and we're all united under one banner with one common cause. That's it, you know. All the other stuff. It's not going to feed your soul, you know.
No, but still, it is an achievement in the eyes of many to make music like it is meant to make music, right? To let it come out without too much thought processes and reasoning, which has to deal with future and past and ambition and all that kind of external thing. So
I
just
think
get rid of all that
you
external
stuff. Yeah, I think you have to understand. For me, if you understand how it works, you know, there's been times where, because of lack of sleep in combination with stress at work, that I went to sessions where I had to be. And because of the sound, I really felt like going, but because of this piling up of other problems, I was too stressed. You know, I didn't really feel like going for the sound that night. And I kept feeling like that when I went there. I kept feeling like that walking into the place. But when I got the microphone to sing, something happened. It just completely took over. You sing lyrics that you never sang before. And it keeps like that until those days, until 4 o'clock in the morning. So you realize that it is not you. So the more you realize that, the less ego has a chance, because it makes absolutely no sense to believe that it's you being anything in this, when you know that it's always him, because when you didn't feel like it, he took over. He was the engine, he inspired you. So that is for me a way to keep my feet on the floor, is just knowing how it works. You know?
And then I also know the answer, of course, but who is he? Who is this he you're talking about?
That's God. Yeah. That's within the teachings of Rastafari, that we're that's the whole reason to share that what we've learned, you know, in the Bible.
Sure.
You know, yeah, because that's where Selassie pointed us to. So
yeah, and that's also something you mentioned tonight.
Yeah, it's very important.
Follow the finger.
Yeah.
And the pointing. All right. And now it leads us to now. Let's circle back a little, because Tim, you told about how you came back between brackets, right? You just took a little period of time not making music, and now you're feeling the vibe again, producing again, making music again.
Yeah.
And now you two are together making an album, right? I read on your website yesterday. Can you tell us a little bit more about the album? We already heard some tunes and they were really impressive.
I think we're working on multiple things, to be honest.
All right, that's a good thing.
Yeah, because well, I was listening to a lot of 90s dancehall, and I played 2 tunes of that project tonight, because I just sent Benji like a whole bunch of rhythms, kind of inspired by that vibe. Because I always felt like when we're doing live sessions, when Benji is on, you know, and he's toasting, he's a maniac, you know, he just keeps on going. Ripping the whole rhythm apart. So I felt like it would be really nice if we can capture that in an album setting, but also not to force it, you know. So I just made rhythms in that style, because I figured, it would probably feel pretty natural for him to like go at it in that style. And logically, it worked out. And we also are doing like some tunes things still, more rootsy, more like in the line of Firm and Ja. I'm not really sure how much tunes there are right now, but
to me, this dancehall project is, because the 90s, I was 20. That's when it was really starting off for me. So yeah, to me that would be like a nice tribute to that area. But at the same time, and that's what Tim's saying as well, and it's in line with what I just said, Jah control. You know, you don't have any control over it. So it's like, you know, you can do your project, but when Jah wants you to do a roots tune in between, then that will happen. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Nice, man. So a lot of things are coming out hopefully in the upcoming period.
We're working on it. You know? There's that's another thing that I'm kind of fully accepting now, is that there are no deadlines, nothing. You know, it's when it's done, then we will present it. I think tonight I've played like pretty much all the stuff that I kind of finished for release. There's an Outta Natural album I'm working on. There's like the Benji project I'm working on. There are a few other things. And I also didn't play some things which I wanted to play, but you know, time.
Too many tunes.
But there's also an album I'm working on with Imitri, my bro. That's done. We just really need to like finalize it, some fine tuning. So I'm working on an album for Tom Chouette Records. I'm working on some things with German sound system called Dandelion Sound and Judge Ellis. So there are all these things, and the studio time is limited, you know. So I'm working on them as best as I can. It's coming together, you know. But that's another thing, also with the ego thing. I mean, I just want to present it like best way possible, and you know.
Exactly.
I don't want to half-ass it and release something because I feel like, oh, we need to put it out right now.
We're like, with funny contrast, you know, a rushed reggae record.
Yeah.
A rush to reggae record.
Yeah, if somebody rushing, producing a reggae record.
Yeah, so I'm just taking my time, just fine-tuning, and I think we're it's almost like 2 years now. I things are in the works. But I also get these things where I get vocals from someone and I've sent them a rhythm, so the rhythm is actually done. But then the vocal, I don't know, it happened on Firm and Ja as well, that the vocal will point me into another direction, and I will hear like a whole new rhythm within the raw vocal. So then I build a whole new rhythm. So it can be like, I mean, I work pretty quick, but it can be a time-consuming process, you know, working on all these things, keeping all these balls in the air. So yeah, you know.
Niceness, yeah, but your music also has this tranquilo character, this very calm character in it.
That's true.
Like
it's due to it not being rushed, I think. Yeah.
Roll in there, you know.
Yeah.
And what you're saying right now is also testament to that.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
my personal opinion, of course, right? It's not that it's an extremely hard, tough digital thing. It's just very warm and embracing. And I hear some difference between the older music and the music you're making right now. So there's a beautiful progression, basically.
Yeah, I think it's only getting more. It's the music has more space now. I feel, you know, more room to breathe. It's a bit more relaxed. When I listen to the old tunes, I can hear like my vision, but some of it feels a bit rushed. Not rushed, but overproduced. Yeah, exactly. That's a good word.
Too much perfectionism, maybe.
Yeah, and for now, you know, I've also switched my studio. I went from digital studio, which back in the days it was all digital. Now I'm fully analog, actually. So there's also room for mistakes in the mixes, which also, you know, it kind of gives you this vibe, like, oh, we'll see what happens.
And can produce something really
out of my hands.
Unexpected.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the stuff you've heard tonight, all of them have like little mistakes in there, but some of the mistakes are beautiful, you know. So, it's not really a mistake. It's an extra effect.
Yeah, it's true. Let it happen, you know what I mean? Because mistakes are like defined in the mind, but in order to call something a mistake, you must have like a standard.
Yeah.
And the standard is Ja. So there is no measuring or saying, okay, that's wrong. You know, if it feels good, it feels good. And the same for the lyrics, you know, you could have an idea of this is what I'm going to do. And then while you're doing it, it just totally changes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's also nice that you described this, that it's a process between producer and artist, so that you respond together. So it's not like you make a rhythm, somebody just vocals on it, bam, done. But it's an interaction that you make music together, right?
Well,
we definitely feed off each other, of course. But for me, I think the only tune we released that we recorded in the same room together was "Girl Don't Trust the World," right?
Yeah.
Because we both have like home studios. Well, mine's not at home anymore, but we both have like separate studios, and Benji uses his for voicing. And yeah, it's a super natural process, you know, because we don't really live around the corner anymore. We used to, but not anymore. So yeah, it's just easy, you know. We can record stuff when he wants to, and I can just
usually when the lyrics come, then it's like immediately.
Yeah, you have to put it on.
Yeah, it just comes, you know. It's not like it takes days to write the lyrics. Usually it just comes in one go.
Yeah, that's also something you mentioned, because yesterday, very nice to know. Yesterday I was watching a very old documentary about 2008 from Taloa. Also a little interview with Lyrical Benjie, and it's really nice to watch and see the old footage. And in that you're basically speaking about the same things, that your process is not about getting a paper and write out every word, but just let it go, record it, and then it flows or it doesn't flow. That's your way of approaching voicing a record, right? Just to let it out, and if the words come, they come. But you're not the guy who's gonna write. Okay,
well, I do.
This and this rhymes to just and this.
Well, I do write now. I write this down, but it's the same as like how you freestyle. As you just write, and one sentence is finished, and the next one is there. It goes quicker than you could think. You know, it's just it comes in. There's no thought process of contemplating, like you say, about this rhyme or that rhyme. It's really him talking, as if you can hear him, and you write what you hear.
True.
Yeah, That's how close Jai is. You know? Yeah. So
Nice.
that's another motivation to stay away from ego and pride, because you miss out on the most beautiful treasures in life. You know?
Yeah. Keep the connection as
Yeah,
pure as possible.
true,
Yeah.
true. Throw it overboard, you know.
Nice. Yeah.
True.
And maybe switch to a different topic. You play a lot of either natural tunes, of course. Also tonight we heard "Oh What a Joy," which has also not been released, right?
No, I think that's coming on a 10-inch.
On the 10-inch.
Yeah, it's in the works now, but I'm not really sure when.
Okay, yeah, that is a good thing.
Pressing plant delays and everything, but I think it's on its way. Yeah, and I don't want to announce stuff before it's there, you know. I just want people to be able to get it when it's there. You know?
Yeah, and it's also nice because Either Natural played a big role in your life, right?
Yeah.
So
major.
you're paying him a huge and heartical tribute and beautiful homage with these works. So that is a nice thing also to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been weird, you know, because I was working with him a lot before I stopped making music, and we always had this vision of doing an album together, you know, just to like kind of put a crown on the friendship as well. And when at first I was ready, but then he was kind of busy. We weren't as close as we got to be. Then he was ready, and I was kind of like moving away from the thing. And we always kept in touch, but it never really came to fruition, you know. And then when I started making music again, I had like an old vocal that he sent me way back. It was the first thing I started working on, and then yeah, of course, I got in touch with him, and then found out that he was ill, and yeah, we never really got to work on new stuff. So the stuff that's there for the album, it's a collection of works that I recorded with him. There's one tune which is a remix of a tune that Forward Fever released called Rasta Rights. I played it tonight as well. And there's an old recording he did with Habesha from Italy, also a close friend of mine. I might include that one as well. So, you know, but the thing is, I just want to make it as perfect as possible. So like you said, you know, it is a tribute to my friend, and it's also a thing with him. You know, he had like super high standards for releasing stuff. So I want every tune on there to be like to have like his stamp of approval, you know, and also just like to give, to make it happen, you know, to make our vision like a reality. And yeah, man, I don't think I've ever spent so much time and energy and emotion on an album. It's been super rough at first, but now, you know, I can enjoy the body of work as it is, you know, without all the emotions. And every now and then, I mean, even tonight, you know, I almost teared up, but you know, yeah, I miss that guy, man. Yeah, we all do. Yeah, but when it's coming, it's I think it's gonna be a special one. People will really
still in the works.
People
when
will
the
feel
time
the
is
vibe.
there.
Yeah, it's almost done though. It's almost done. It's like one and a half tune.
So 2 days. No.
Yeah, I think 2 studio days. Yeah, at most. And then mastering, pressing. So at least 6 months.
Yeah. 6 months to a year.
Least. Yeah.
And one question still, because I think we're running out of time. Also, I'm full of questions, so in my mind I also have to check. I'm always wondering because you as an artist and you as also an artist, of course, you have a different position in the audience with people, right? You're not facing the artist, but you're facing the people from a very different point of view. Can you describe how that is? What you see, what you feel when you're playing music or making music as an interaction? What do you see when you do that? Of course, you see a lot of people, but and also why I'm asking this question gives you maybe a little bit of time to think. Why I'm asking this question is because for a lot of people, they are not on that side of the booth, of the mixing desks. Normally, they're always on the audience side.
Yeah.
So it is very interesting to ask this question. what goes on over there and what those people see as the artist playing or voicing or putting up a new tune.
I think you're more undergoing his inspiration, and then because sometimes I'm singing with my eyes closed because I sometimes see more with my eyes closed. Because you can see without your eyes. I know it's a bit deep reasoning for now, but it's possible.
Maybe for later.
And that's what's happening, and then you see the effect that it has, but you're under that drive, that topic that you want to elaborate on that what you're talking about. So it's more like something that you see that people are enjoying it or really feeling it, but at the same time your mind is sort of somewhere else receiving the next line. Right. So it's quite intense. But the fact that you see the people feeling it is a sort of an confirmation that they're feeling the spirit as you feel it. So that's my experience. Yeah.
And maybe then the seeing is not the visual part, but a deeper underlying part.
Yeah, it's mainly that presence of him and that whole taking over of your mind and your soul being involved, and you're seeing what you're actually singing about. This is the only way to sing about it. So that's what you're going through, and then if you look at the people and they respond that way, then you're like, okay, this is what you want. You wanted to transcend to them and share, and so your mission is working. That's more or less your mission for God. Yeah.
A confirmation, basically, on a certain sense.
Yeah.
You see and you feel.
Yeah, because you see, you can talk about God with many words, and anybody with good intention and bad intention can copy those words. One thing that you cannot copy is the spirit and the feeling. So that's why we want to make people feel it on that level instead of just the words, but the feeling, because that is him,
True.
Yeah.
Undescribable.
Yeah, he is, definitely.
Nice explanation. Give thanks.
Rastafari.
And for you, Tim? What is happening on that side? What are things, how you interact with the audience or with people, or what do you see happening in the audience, or maybe in yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as interactions go, I think, like I said, I'm very vibe driven. So the selection will kind of materialize. I don't really have a plan. I just see what happens.
Sure.
And in between, when you see people enjoying themselves, I see a lot of eyes closed when we play. It's usually like about half of the audience has their eyes closed and looks very happy. Yeah, that's beautiful, because they're surrendering themselves to everything, to the music, to Jah, to the vibe, to the words, and I think that's like the power of the music, and I think that's where kind of the honesty comes through as well, because I mean it feels very like real, I think, because I get it myself as well. It's maybe weird because we made the thing, but every now and then you're like, ooh, you get some goosebumps. Yeah, so tonight, especially when the last tune I played was an Outta natural tune called Unity Key, and that was actually the first tune I started working on after he had passed. I don't know, there's something about that tune where everything just clicks, it's very special for me. And I saw everyone in the audience, almost everyone had their eyes closed, it was just in the zone.
Yeah, nice.
And then you kind of get that confirmation, like, yeah, this is how it's meant to be,
Yeah,
this is why we do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the mission is working.
Yeah, you truly feel the mission, not only playing it, but only feeling it and living it yourself.
Yeah,
see it
definitely.
Being transferred, manifested, and back.
Yeah, exactly.
As a circular motion.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to live it off stage, and then you give testimony on stage, and that circles around.
Mm.
Yeah.
Niceness, yeah. With those words, I think it's a niceness also to close up. I'm a
Yeah,
very curious
right.
guy, but for now, we can reason here for.
We'll do a part two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Let's do that on later.
come to
Yeah,
our
man.
session in January.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Can you give a little shout out on that one? Maybe what we are gonna do in January on the session?
What we're gonna do? We're gonna share Jah vibes to the fullness. So you know, and we never know what happens, but we know it'd be explosive. You know, because nobody controls what Jah controls, and anywhere he wants his word to be said, it's gonna be boom. You know. Yeah.
No.
So don't miss it.
All right. Give thanks.
Yes.
Give thanks.
Welcome, man.
You're
Yeah,
welcome,
well,
man.
alright. And if you want to know more about SLIMMAH Sound or Lyrical Benjie, feel free to look them up on the internet. If you hit it in Google, you find a lot of things about
Yeah.
these beautiful souls, right? So link them up and give them the support they deserve, you know. Yeah, well, give thanks.
Rastafari.
Alright.
Peace.